Let me turn that down just a little bit. Hi everybody, welcome to the Yukon Bob Sea-Doo channel. Nice to see you again. Really a quick decision this morning. I wasn't planning on doing the trip today, but I had a quick look at the weather, the wind, and the temperatures today, and I thought, you know, I can squeeze a fast trip in today. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have a video for this weekend, because I was away for a number of days over this past weekend in Ottawa on a motorcycle trip. Long trip there, 6 hours there and about 5 hours back. I took the back roads and my butt is a little bit sore on the way back. I'm not used to riding those long distances on a motorcycle anymore, but great trip. The weather was good and it was a real fun time. But now I've got to get a Sea-Doo trip in. So this morning the weather conditions all kind of looked right, and I jumped out of bed and said within an hour, had the Sea-Doo loaded up, let's go. And I'm going to make a quick trip today up to Lake Simcoe. And I'm just going to kind of go along the coastline of Lake Simcoe, maybe up to Friday Harbour, pop in there. I haven't been there this year yet. And then maybe even go to Barrie. We'll see if we get that far up, but we'll check that out with the weather conditions on the lake. The winds are supposed to be fairly light, so we'll see. Anyway, it's going to be a quick trip today. Just you know, I've been making some longer trips and some longer videos over the last little while, hauling 3 hours or something to get to where I'm going. I needed just a quick one today, so it's only about an hour and 10 minutes or less than an hour roughly to get up to where I got to go. So I will see you guys at a place called Keswick, a little boat launch there. And I should be there shortly. We'll see you up there. Okay, we've arrived at the boat launch in Keswick. This is where I normally launch from here. It's not the best boat launch, but it'll do to get a Sea-Doo in. The water's a little bit scummy right in here. Drops off right there. You can tie up to the dock there, and then there's parking right along over there. So I've just been told that Harry, the guy who usually runs this and has been running this boat launch for years, is not doing it anymore. So it's under sort of new ownership, I guess, or new management. There's somebody else doing it. I just met the guy over here a minute ago. It's still 20 bucks here to launch, park for the day, and that's fair, that's reasonable. So we're gonna put the boat, the Sea-Doo in right here, and then just tie it up here and then go park the truck right over there. So let me get that turned around here. All right, so we are launched. We're out on the water at Keswick, and I'm going to get a couple of things sorted out here before we start out onto the bigger water of Lake Simcoe. What we have to do here is we have to go through a marina first before we get out onto Simcoe, through Crate Marina, and that's down that way. We've got to go underneath the bridge. If you've got a really big boat, you can't launch here because you've got to be able to clear that clearance right there and get underneath that bridge, which is the highway there. And then once you're underneath the highway, you make your way through the marina, and then you're out onto the bigger waters of Lake Simcoe. There's a little breeze. We won't know exactly what it's going to be like until we turn the corner out there and get out onto Simcoe. There's a flag out there. We'll have an idea of what the flag looks like, and then we'll take a look at the water out of Lake Simcoe. But it is supposed to be fairly calm today, so it should be pretty good. So that's the end of an era here. Harry was kind of getting on in age a little bit maybe, and I guess that was just time for him to kind of retire and turn the business over. And it's a Chinese fellow there that's running it. He said he's working it for his son right now, but I guess they're looking after the ramp. But it's kind of a thankless job because you got to just sit there all day long in order to collect that $20. I know a couple of times, whoop, there we go underneath. I've been here a couple of times where Harry hasn't been around, and he's always caught me on the way back. I'd come back out and he'd be there kind of waiting for me, looking for the $20, but at least it's relatively reasonable here to launch and then park for the day. 20 bucks is, I don't mind that, that's not bad. Now there's a gas station right here, and I don't remember what the price difference is, but if you drive in there and you fill up with a car, it's like, you know, whatever the price is for competitiveness on filling up with gas. But if you drive right to the dock there and fill up with a boat, it's like 20 cents more a liter or something like that. So it's kind of ridiculous that the gas station's right there for the cars, but it's so much more right on the water for boats. Okay, life jacket is sitting down beside me. I'm gonna take a second and put that on. Yeah, not to overemphasize the point, but right there, $1.49.3. And up there on the sign over there, $1.27.9. So that's the difference between filling up right here or filling up right over there. I just find that's kind of ridiculous, given that there's no, it's not like they're hauling fuel into a marina somewhere way back in a back road or something to get it in there. It's literally there or there, and there's that big of a difference in the price of fuel. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm never fueling up there. Not often I have a coffee on the Sea-Doo to start off the journey, but I had just stopped at Tim Hortons on the way here, just pulled in there and grabbed a sandwich because I haven't eaten anything today. I made a very quick decision to get out on the water, so I just kind of grabbed a sandwich, threw it into the boat, and of course it came with a coffee. I can't remember if I locked the truck or not. Just don't quite remember. Ah well, it'll be all right. Okay, there's the flag. That's our first indication of what the wind is like. Doesn't look that strong right now. It's supposed to build a little bit by this afternoon, but I'm planning on being off this lake by 3:30 in the afternoon, maybe 4 o'clock at the latest. So we'll see. Yeah, the water is starting to warm up quite nicely in these lakes. Georgian Bay still a little bit cold, but the inland lakes like Simcoe, Muskoka, Sparrow Lake, all those kind of inland lakes, Kawartha lakes, they're all starting to warm up quite a bit now, where it's not so bad just to kind of jump in and go for a little swim. It's taken a little while, but we are now into July, so it's about time. So here's the exit. This is where you come into the marina, Crates Marina, here on this sort of bottom arm of Lake Simcoe, and then out that way is where we're going to head, down that way. We'll probably cross over to the other side of the lake. There's a little harbor over there I like to just kind of drop into and have a look at. It's called Friday Harbour. And then we'll make our way down along the coastline of Simcoe up towards Friday Harbour, which is a big, big development. I've showed it in some past videos over the years, but we'll pop in there again and just have a look and see what's going on in there today. Yeah, just as soon as we get out of the harbor, we got a little more chop out here. Starting to get a little splash. Okay, I think we're set. Let's put this camera on. And everything's set, let's go. As I thought it was going to be. Yeah, so we've crossed over to the other side of the lake now, and it is calmer over here. It's an offshore wind today, so right along, I think this coastline, right along up here, it's going to be calmer than it is way out over that way. So yeah, I think we'll stick along this coastline and just follow it up along Simcoe, and definitely calmer over here. Also shallower right in here as I get closer to shore, so we'll have to keep an eye out for the bottom. I've already got a couple little scrapes on the hull from the last couple of trips out. It was pristine until just the last few trips, but you know what? I don't worry about that all that much. A couple little scrapes here and there are fine, because I like to get in close sometimes. I like to get back into areas that you can go with the Sea-Doo. And once in a while, as long as you're not hitting things hard like I did the end of last season, where I really just didn't see that rock and hit it really hard and caused an extensive amount of damage. If I just touch bottom a little slightly with the bottom and stuff like that and then back off, I don't really worry too much about that. It's fine. A little scrape or two just shows you've been out using the machine a bit. So, up around the corner, we'll find the entrance to Friday Harbour. Pull in there, see what's going on there this season. Haven't been in there yet. The last couple of times I've been on Simcoe, I've been launching out of a place called Beaverton, which is way on the other side of the lake, up the eastern side of Lake Simcoe. And I've been launching out of there, then heading kind of north from there towards a place called Aurelia. So this is the first time down on this area of water on Lake Simcoe for me. Got the sleeves pulled down, keep the sun off the arms. I've got the suntan lotion on, but keep those arms covered up a bit with this rash shirt. Every year I come by this tree expecting it to be down and into the water, but every year it keeps hanging on. Just right out over the water here. It was right around here one time. I had been right in back in one of these little bays here, and for some reason I'd taken the life jacket off for a minute or two, maybe to do something, or maybe it was a little warm, I don't know. And then I put the life jacket kind of on the back of the Sea-Doo and I took off. I was heading back to where I launched from. And about 5 minutes into the ride, I kind of felt weird, and I looked and I thought, I don't have this life jacket on. I looked behind me, of course it was gone, blown off the back of the Sea-Doo. So I turned around and I went back, and it was right in this area here somewhere. I'd taken off out of this bay or something, and I kind of went back and forth, did a little bit of a zigzag pattern, and sure enough, there it was floating in the water, and giving it a good rinse, picked it up out of the water, no worse for wear, put it back on, it was good to go. It's not the first time I've done that. Wow. Are you guys with the summer camp? Fantastic. Look like you're having a lot of fun. Hi. These guys look like they're having a lot of fun out here. And they've got sort of the boats around them to kind of like safety boats here to make sure everybody's safe. Hi guys, say hi to YouTube. That's great. I don't know what the camp is, what the name of the camp is, but there's a lot of kids out here in the water. Summer holidays have started and these kids are making the most of it right off the start. Nice. That Insta360 camera, the on and off of the record is really wonky. You push it to stop recording and it doesn't stop, and you push it again, it still doesn't stop. Look, it just started recording again. What the hell is with that? I never even touched it. Oh, maybe I said start recording. They also sell here Ranger tugs, which is one of my favorite boats. If you guys will well know from listening to my past videos, there's a dealership here for Ranger tugs, but I don't see any sitting here. Maybe the dealership has moved somewhere else. Not sure, because usually up on the shore you can see a few of the Ranger tugs, but I don't see any today. Nice boat. Lovely. Morning. Gorgeous day today. Lots of people on the water.
Let's shake you, buddy. Don't let that boat.
This area just up here is Innisfil Beach on the west side of Lake Simcoe. Nice sand beach all along here, and they have a boat launch here and stuff like that. I think it costs extra though if you don't live in the Innisfil area. I think the cost is fairly high to launch a boat here, but they've got the swim restricted area here as well, and just a beautiful beach area up here. Looks like a few people out enjoying the water today. And then the dock is and launch area is just around the corner up here. We'll take a drive by there and have a look. Probably about 4 or 5 feet of water. That is something that I don't have on this Sea-Doo that I did have on the previous GTX Limited. There is no depth gauge on this Sea-Doo, and I don't know why the heck that is. It is a limited model. You'd think that they'd have the depth on here, but they don't. There is no gauge on here. I will get depth once I put on my Garmin navigation unit, which is going to mount into one of these mirrors. I'm still waiting for that to kind of come in so I can mount it onto the Sea-Doo and have Garmin navigation in addition to my Navionics. I use the Garmin quite a bit. I like it, but I don't have it on this Sea-Doo yet. And when I had the other one, I sold the Garmin unit with it. So I'm kind of waiting for another one to come in, and then it mounts right into that mirror there. The actual Garmin unit is in, but what I'm waiting for is the attachment rigmarole that'll fit into the mirror. And it's a special kind of an attachment because it's not the normal one. It is the one that goes with the Fish Pro Apex. So it's the big screen Garmin. I think it's a 9-inch screen on that. And the attachment is just a little bit different. They only make that for the Fish Pro Apex, but you can buy that Garmin unit. It's a little more money, of course, but that's the one I've ordered. It's got a bigger screen, and when that gets in, I'm going to mount it right down onto there, and we'll just see how that looks and how that works. Okay, this is the ramp right there at Innisfil Beach. And yeah, pretty good launch. Tie-up area right over there. Nice little cottage right on the corner here. It's a nice piece of property right on the point. It's pretty secluded all the way around. Well, the sign seems to be gone. There used to be a great big sign right there, the biggest sign that was on this lake, saying Friday Harbour. And the sign is now down right now, so I don't know. I think the sign was even solar powered, but maybe it's under repair or maybe they've just taken it down. But this is the entrance to Friday Harbour right here. We're going to take a cruise on in there and have a look around. This is a big complex. It's probably the biggest complex on the water in Ontario. It's massive. And they've got like phase 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what they're at now. Phase 5 in development, that sort of thing. But it goes way back here. There's a beach area over here. They've got outdoor pools. They've got tennis courts. They've got golf courses. They've got boat slips for people who want to buy these units on the water here. Some come with boat slips. Some are a little bit further back and don't come with a boat slip. But it's quite a complex. Here's the jet skis that you can rent. I have no idea what these cost. Probably 50, 60 bucks an hour, something like that. GTIs, all the same color. I think those are this year's young, born in the spring. Nice little starter boat. There used to be some pretty good dockage up here to pull in and tie up and go in and have a sandwich or something like that, but I think they've changed a bit of that. It's a little more difficult for just the general public to pull in here and tie up. You used to be able to do it right along here, but they seem to have changed some of that. I'm not sure what the heck the idea behind all that is, but things have changed a bit. See, I think in the past I've tied up right along here, but it looks like what they've done here now is they've taken all the cleats up. There's nothing to tie up to anymore. So they've taken the cleats away. Normally you could just pull up here and climb up onto the dock and go off there, but what the heck do you tie up to here now? The cleats are all gone. And I think they've done that on purpose. Huh. Yeah, nothing to tie up to anymore. And then all of these spots, of course, all through here, they're all reserved. There's a cleat down in there, but there's nothing all the way along there. Well, if they're going to make it that way, then maybe I won't go in there and spend any money. Like they care about my $10 or $15. Quite the development in here at Friday Harbour. It's been a big success. That sun is super strong today. I think I got to put a little bit more suntan lotion on my face, and I didn't put any on my legs, so I got a tube with me. I'm going to pull out here a little bit and just stop over there and put some suntan lotion, particularly on my legs, because I can feel them getting a little bit red. Well, you don't feel them getting red, you feel them getting hot, but they're starting to look a little bit red. Turning out to be a pretty nice day out here. It's relatively calm. If you go down that way and around the point, around the corner, that's the turn to go back down to Barrie. You basically go on the back side of Friday Harbour here. There's a big turn, you go down that way. I think it's called Kempfelt Bay. It's a ways down there though. It's quite a ways to get down to Barrie, and there's not all that much to see actually in Barrie. All right, let's grab that bacon cheese bagel and have a bite to eat. It's getting a little soggy. Stay there. I'm hungry. Picked that up a couple hours ago. Tastes pretty good. Somebody was asking me in the comments on the last video where I got these sunglasses. My wife was making fun of them. She thought they looked kind of goofy. But a couple of you wrote in and said you kind of liked them and you wondered where I got them. Well, I can tell you I bought them from Temu, T-E-M-U. It's a online company out of China, and I think I paid $6 for them. They've got different colors. You can get orange, you can get green, you can get the blue like these are, like $6 or something like that. I think the brand name on them was Shimano, but that's where I got them from, Temu. Well guys, that's going to do it for this Yukon Bob video. Just a quick trip today out onto Lake Simcoe. I've only been out here about 4 or 5 hours. Just wanted to get out and make a video for you because I do not believe there will be a video next week. I'm heading off to the Yukon in just a few days. I'm going up there for a 50th, you can believe that, a 50th high school reunion. Still some people living in Whitehorse that are part of my graduating class from 1975 that are organizing this thing and putting it on, so I got to go up and be part of that. So that is coming up for me in the next week, which means there won't be another video for a week or two. So I'm just giving you a heads up. If you don't see anything in a week after this video is out, that's why. It's because I'm up in the Yukon celebrating that reunion. So thanks for coming along on this one. We'll see you guys back on the water in a week or two, something like that. Stay safe on the water. We'll see you guys soon, and bye for now.